The Chosen, Last Supper, Part 1, arrives in theaters with the weight of sky-high expectations, riding the wave of the series' devoted fan base and its knack for turning Bible stories into binge-worthy drama. But this first installment of Season 5 Holy Week arc, which covering Jesus' triumphal entry and his table-flipping showdown in the temple, stumbles out of the gate. It's delivering a plodding and overstuffed chapter that leans too hard on reverence and not enough on cinematic heft. For all its earnest intentions, it's a slog that mistakes prolonged gazes and heavy-handed dialogue for profundity, leaving even the faithful restless. The movie kicks things off with Jesus riding into Jerusalem, greeted by adoring crowds and wide-eyed disciples, expecting a kingly coup. Instead, he storms the temple, upending corruption in a burst of righteous fury. It's a pivotal moment ripe for tension, yet the film stretches it thin across 130 minutes, padding the runtime with meandering subplots and ponderous exchanges. Jesus' character feels oddly muted here. His anger feels more petulant than purposeful. His sermons delivered with a flatness that undercuts their weight. The cleansing scene, a supposed centerpiece, lacks the visceral punch to match its biblical stakes, coming off as a tepid tantrum rather than a divine reckoning. The ensemble gets lost in the shuffle, their arcs sidelined for repetitive, awestruck reactions to Jesus' every move. The high priest's scheming, teased as a looming threat, is reduced to generic villainy, with little depth to make his opposition compelling. The humanizing touch feels forced here. The disciples' banter and personal struggles ring hollow, as if tacked on to justify the theatrical treatment. To make it worse, the script clunks along with expository lines, characters explaining Passover rituals or Roman oppression, in ways that feel cribbed from a Sunday school lesson, not a living story. Visually, the film leans on its TV roots too heavily. The Jerusalem sets and costumes are serviceable, but the cinematography lacks the grandeur needed to elevate this from small screen fare to big screen event. Moments of potential, like the crowd's hosannas or the temple's chaos, are undercut by flat framing and a score that swells predictably without earning its emotional peaks. Fans may forgive the familiarity, but newcomers will find little to latch onto in this sermon disguised as cinema. The Chosen has thrived by making Jesus relatable, but Last Supper Part 1 forgets that relatability needs momentum, not just piety. It's a passion project that plays it too safe, banking on goodwill rather than pushing the narrative forward. With 2 more parts to come, this opener feels like a setup without a spark, less a feast at the table than a lukewarm appetizer. For a story about turning tables, it's ironically content to leave them unturned. It's not worth to spend time to watch this. We do not recommend this movie at all.